Welcome to Crown Brush. I'm Dawn Maloney, celebrity makeup artist and hairstylist. Today's video is about sanitation. So makeup artist, sanitation is a discipline. It's something that you do on a daily basis. It's embedded in your brain. You cannot do makeup without practicing sanitation. That's how embedded it is. It's such a practice that you just can't even start doing someone's face before you wash your hands, get organized, set everything up in a clean way. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to master sanitation. That is always step one to great makeup artistry. Washing your hands and using hand sanitizer is a must. Now, of course, when you work on a location, you may not necessarily have water. There may not be a sink, there may not be soap. So washing your hands in between while you're working just might not happen. So one of the very important things that you should have in your kit is hand sanitizer, and you'll use that in between your makeovers. Now, if you do have soap and water and a sink nearby, you want to wash your hands before you begin the makeover and after, because you don't want to pass germs from your hands to the other person while you're working on them, and then when you're done, if you by chance got a little makeup on your hand or maybe some hairspray, some type of product, you want to wash your hands afterwards immediately. This way you can start setting up and getting ready for the next person. Wash your hands for at least 30 seconds, and you want to use the warmest water that you can possibly stand. And I prefer using a soap that has some antibacterial properties. Nails. Your nails should be at a short length, meaning that they measure up to the ends of your finger. You don't want to wear long fake acrylic nails. Why? Because it's unsanitary. When you're working with makeup and hair products as well, makeup tends to get under the nail, skin cells, dirt, debris. It's just very unsanitary. And if you just happen to have long nails that day that you're working and you didn't have time to give yourself a manicure, make sure that you use a nail scrubber to clean and brush your nails free of any debris and dirt. I like to keep my nails at a short professional length. And of course, I love different nail polish colors, and I think that just looks really professional when you have a nice manicure. Remember, makeup artist, it's expected for you to look good. People look up to you, so they will look and judge you based on the way you look. So having clean hands and nails are very important. No one wants to work with someone that looks dirty. You don't have to spend a lot of money on having very expensive manicures. This is something that you can do at home. It's really simple. You want to wash your hands, scrub with a nail brush, use a nail file to file down your nails. If you need to cut them, use a nail clipper and trim them down. Having well manicured nails portrays an image of professionalism and respect. Never ever put products on your hand or body and transfer it onto another person. A lot of times we see this. Makeup artists putting makeup, lip gloss onto their hands and then applying it onto another person. You'll see foundation, lipstick, lip gloss, basically being put on the hand, and the hand is used as a palette. That is a major no-no. You never ever want to put product on your body and transfer it onto someone else. In fact, you never want to touch your client. There's always a barrier between you and the other person. Clean hands are fast hands. When you're not touching the person's face or body and getting makeup on your hands, you're actually going to increase your speed. Think about it. If you have makeup all over your hands and you need to work quickly, like let's say you have to touch the person's hair up or zip up their dress or use a lint roller to remove lint off their jacket. When you're working in a fast-paced environment, you're not going to be able to switch that quickly from makeup artistry to wardrobe assistant if you have dirty hands full of product. So by keeping your hands as clean as possible, when you're working on a set like for TV or photography or a runway show, you'll easily be able to move that fast. You'll be able to go right into the person's hair or grab your stuff and run to set. You're not worrying about, oh my gosh, I have all this red lipstick all over my hands and I gotta clean up before I go out and do something on set or help this person with their wardrobe. It just allows you to be faster makeup artists. So please get in the habit of not putting product on your hand. You will definitely see how it will benefit you, and your efficiency and your speed will increase as well. And clients, they really don't like seeing you put makeup on your body and transferring it onto them. They may not tell you straight to your face or ask you not to do that and that it bothers them, but what your clients will do is they'll tell others. They'll tell other makeup and hair people or the director or the salon owner or someone in authority that what you're doing is not hygienic and sanitary, and it really bothers them. So get in the habit, makeup artists, of never ever putting product on your hands and then using that product onto another person. It just is really awkward and it makes everything feel so uncomfortable. It just makes the whole situation uncomfortable. Be as sanitary as possible. Makeup should be dispensed onto a palette and then apply it to the person. All your products are put onto the palette. Foundation, powders, lip gloss, lipstick, eyeshadow, anything that you can dispense will go onto your palette. Sanitation tools are a must, makeup artists. You have to have them in your kit, and these are things that you're going to be using on a regular basis, like puffs, sponges, beauty blenders, mascara wands or spoolies, lipstick applicators, lip gloss applicators, disposable lip brushes, makeup wipes. These are all different types of sanitation materials that you will be using on a daily basis. And yes, these have to be replaced. So these are things that you have to be mindful of and make sure that you check that you have them in your kit before you go out on a job. To clean your used lip pencils and eye pencils, you want to sharpen your pencil. This is the Crown Dual Sharpener. Once your pencil is sharpened, then you're going to take cotton rounds and 99% alcohol to clean the pencil. Because what's happening is your pencil is going into a used dirty sharpener. So we take the 99%, put it on the cotton, close up the container because you don't want accidental spills. Makeup artists, get in the habit of closing all your containers, and then you're going to wipe the pencil with the 99% alcohol. Let the pencil air dry, and then once it's completely air dried, then you cap it. You don't want to cap a wet pencil because the fumes from the alcohol will actually create a suction inside the cap, and it will be very difficult, if not impossible, to open the pencil up. It creates a suction. So make sure, makeup artists, that you allow your pencil to fully air dry before placing the cap on it. Then after you're done using your sharpener and it's full of pieces of pencil, then you want to tap out all of your sharpenings, and then you can use the same wipe with 99% alcohol and clean the interior of the pencil sharpener. This is a great way to keep all of your tools clean and presentable. One of the things that you should be aware of is the fact that you're going to get in the habit of scraping, scooping, and pouring out all of your makeup. This is a must. You have to do this. There's no double dipping of product. I don't want to see you taking your brush, dipping it into your eyeshadow, or taking your concealer brush and dipping it into your concealer. That's a major no-no. Everything will go onto your palette or a paper towel. So prior to getting started with your makeover, you're going to scrape out all of your dry products like your eyeshadows, your blushes, your bronzers, all of your face powders, that sort of thing. As you're working, you will then scrape off or pour out any of your liquids, creams, and gels. And the reason why you want to do that second or while you're working is because you don't want these products to dry out, right? They contain water. So the longer they're sitting on your palette or your paper towel or your palette knife, the longer they will dry out, right? They will have a chance to evaporate or dry out. So always pour, scrape, scoop out your liquid, cream, and gel products while you're in the process of doing the makeover or towards the end after you scrape everything off, because they contain water and you don't want your products to dry out before you start your makeover. So my recommendation is scrape all of your products, all of your dry stuff first, your blush, your eyeshadows, all of your face powders, bronzers, those sorts of things. And then as you're working in certain areas of the face where you require the liquids, the creams, the gels, then you scrape, pour out during the makeover. Before beginning any makeover, makeup artist, you want to first drape your client for two reasons. One, we want to protect the person's skin from a cape that may be already worn by another person. And we also want to protect their clothing from makeup. We don't want any type of foundation or powders falling on their outfit. And typically what the person is wearing while they're getting their makeup done is what they will be wearing on set. So it's really imperative that you remember to drape your client before starting any makeover. So one of the first things that we're going to do is we will use a neck guard. And a neck guard is a simple piece of tissue paper, and we simply drape it around the person's neck, and then we can apply the cape. So this neck guard, this piece of tissue, is protecting her skin from the cape. Usually we reuse capes. Of course, the optimum would be to wash your cape in between each person, but makeup artists usually don't have that option, especially when you work on a set where you're working with dozens and dozens of actors or models. So you want to carry neck guards in your makeup kit. So we just drape that around the person. And then what you can do is take some paper towel and place it into the collar. If she has a turtleneck, of course, I would fold that down to the best of my ability and also put paper towel around the clothes. This just gives you extra insurance that you will not get makeup on their clothing. Especially if you're an airbrusher, the airbrush spray makeup could get, believe it or not, under the cape and get on the clothes. And then last but not least, we take our cape and drape the person. I'm just going to lift Valerie's ponytail, and then I'm going to snap at a point, at a button point that is comfortable around her neck. I don't want this cape to be too tight around her and hurt her neck. And then I always check to make sure that the cape is draped properly and it's completely covering her so that none of her clothes are exposed, and I don't want to get any makeup on her clothing. So one of the things that you should be mindful of is to not touch your client, and you can use different modalities to ensure that. So here's some paper towel. I love just taking a strip of paper towel, folding it, and then I'll be able to place it on the person's skin. So as you can see, there's a barrier between me and the person. We never touch the face. Another reason why you want to use a paper towel or tissue as a barrier between you and the client is that you can actually use it as a blending tool. It's really fast and easy when you're holding the tissue, and then when you're working with a brush, you can just tap right onto that tissue that you're holding. And then use it to move, if I have to move the face, like hold the eyebrow up. Always something between you and the client. You can use a cotton round, and you can also use a sponge. So when I'm working on the person, there's always something between me and them. And you can see how I'm not leaning on the face. And there's a professional amount of space between me and the client. When you want to do fine detail work, you really need to lift the brow or touch the face. Never lean on the person. Things that you never want to do is actually lean on the face to do the makeup, or hold, or blend with your fingers. You don't want to touch the person's hair either, because what if their hair was just styled? And also, by putting your hands and then your weight on top of them, you could actually be pressing down on their head and give them a headache. So never, ever, ever touch the client. Another thing that you want to be aware of when it comes to personal space is your personal hygiene. You want to make sure that you're clean, that you've showered, you use deodorant, you brush your teeth, you use some type of peppermint oil or breath mint or mouthwash. When you're working with someone and you're working really closely, you want to make sure that you're not offensive in any way. Another thing to keep in mind is if you love perfume or cologne, it should be something that's very subtle, not overpowering, that could trigger some type of allergic reaction if someone smells that. And also, we don't want to offend them with some type of strong perfume or cologne. It can really bother someone, and they may not say anything, but they may say something to someone else, and that makeup artist can be very embarrassing. So wear something light and non-offensive. You want to look presentable, so your clothes should be clean and pressed, and you want to look and feel like a true professional. When you go to work, you are your own brand. You are your walking advertisement. So if you look good, people will think, wow, I want to look like him or her. I want to emulate beauty. So you are the walking advertisement. And this concludes today's video on sanitation. I hope that all the tips, tricks, and advice help your makeup career soar. See you on the next video.